سلام الله عليكم ورحمته وبركاته. How are you all, my dear sisters? I hope that you are all doing well. Well, today, inshallah, we are going to continue our recitation journey. Okay? Just a minute. I need to do something. Just a minute. Okay. Okay. We are going to share the screen right away to start, inshallah. Very well. Now you can see the mushaf. As usual, I'm going to start our session by recitation. Always, I give you enough time to repeat after me. Of course, the microphones are muted, and then we will analyze the ayat from Tajweed side, and then you are going to recite. Okay? Today, inshallah, we are going to recite ayat 29 and 30 from Surah الكهف. Okay? Let's start. And kindly notice the movement of my mouth. This is important. This is very important. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وقل الحق من ربكم. فمن شاء فليؤمن ومن شاء فليكفر. إنا أعتدنا للظالمين نارا أحاط بهم سرادقها. وإن يستغيثوا يغاثوا بماء كالمهل. كالمهل يشوي الوجوه. بئس الشراب وساءت مرتفقا. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا وعملوا الصالحات إنا لا نضيع أجر من أحسن عملا. Okay, let's analyze the ayat from Tajweed side. وقولي, just pronounce the short vowels or the harakat properly. We call this rule in Tajweed إتمام الحركات or completing the harakat. Okay? Completing the harakat, meaning that you are going to pronounce each short vowel, fatha, dhamma, kasra, from its number one, from its article. Number one, how come? Yeah, from like it. Number one, from its articulation point. Number two, give it its time. Okay, so each short vowel must be pronounced from its number one articulation point, makhraj. Number two, give it its time. Okay, this is the rule of completing the harakat. If you are going to shorten the time of any haraka, this is called in tajweed ikhtilas or stealing, because you are stealing the time of the haraka. If you are going to stretch or prolongate the duration or the time of the haraka, this is called tamtit, or we call it, in English it will be stretching. Both are wrong. Commit kindly to the time of each haraka, pronounce it well, and pronounce it from its articulation point. The articulation point of each haraka, it is the same articulation point of their mothers. Fatha, it is the same like alif. Dhamma, it is the same of waw, natural mad waw. Kasra, the same of natural mad. Yeah. Okay? Haraka, my dear sister, the time or the duration of haraka, it is the measurement. It is the measurement which we measure by all the different kinds of mudud, of lengthening letter. For example, natural mad, we say it's 2 counts. What the meaning of 2 counts? What is the meaning of count? A count, it is the duration or the time you need to pronounce any Arabic letter with any short vowel. That means 2 counts. The natural mad 2 counts. It means, for example, I'm going to pronounce 2 waw with fatha. Wa. So this is 2 counts. مد جائز منفصل or optional disconnected mad 4-5. 4 is 4 counts. It means I'm going to pronounce 4 Arabic letters with 4 short vowels. I'll say ba. So 4 counts, it means ba. So this is measurement. That's why it's very important. Kindly. Pay attention. This is very important in the recitation. Li. Where, not where. Li. وقولي الحق. Of course, Hamzat al is going to be dropped because if you continue recitation. So moving from the lam with kisra to the lam with sukun. وقولي, give the time needed to the lam with sukun because this is a letter of بينية or a letter, an in-between letter. وقولي, wait a little. It's لن عمر, in between letters. الحق. The qaf shadda and dhamma. Of course, here I will not have qalqalam. Even if the first letter here is of course having sukun. But how I'm going to apply qalqala? I'm going to close the articulation point and start the qaf with shadda by pronouncing the qaf with sukun. And then I leave the articulation point and I pronounce the qaf with dhamma. So how, where, and how I'm going to apply qalqala. So there is no qalqala here, even with this qaf, the first qaf, because I close the articulation point. I close the articulation point and start the pronunciation of qaf with sukun, and open the articulation point and pronounce the qaf with dhamma. Al-haqqu. Okay. Of course, I know that you pronounce two by the time of this letter. Yes, it's letter of shidda or a strong letter, the least time for any letter, but still have time. Al-haqqu. Do not say al-haqqu. Al-haqqu, you overlook this qaf, the first one. Al-haqqu. If I start from here, and as we said, we are explaining from tajweed point of view. We are not saying if this yes, correct or no. Okay? Because usually if you have this verb, قل, قال, يقولون, it's this verb in English, it's say. The mouse is not helping me in writing, so excuse me. Say. So never ever when you have this verb, and for example, I'm out of breath and I stopped here. I let us clean first. I'm out of breath and I stopped here. For example, this could happen sometimes. I stop. وَقُلْ. Never ever you understand Arabic or you don't understand Arabic, especially if you don't understand Arabic, you don't know what's written here. He said, she said, here it's an order, say. So return from this verb. You must return from this verb. Do not begin after, okay? But you can stop, yes. Because this is we call emergency stop because you are out of breath. But return. But as we said, we explain now tajweed point of view. If I start, hamster is going to be pronounced, and this is the definition al or al-tarif. It will have fatha. Al. If I stop here, I have a letter with shadda. I have to apply nabr or stress. وَقُولِ الْحَقِّ وَقُولِ الْحَقِّ الْحَقِّ, like push in sound when before the starting of pronunciation of the qaf. Al-haq. This is the nabr. Okay? مِن رَبِّكُمْ. Of course, here I have idgham. Idgham kamil or full merging. That means the noon, two parts of the pronunciation, the mouth part and the nasal cavity are not going to work. This is full merging. Full. Soon the noon totally disappear. Moving from the mim with kasra to the ra with shadda and fatha. Mirra. Give the time to the first ra. I must hear it in between letter. Mirra. Mir. Huh? Wait for the first ra. Mirra. Of course, the ra here, both ra are going to be heavy sounds because I have two ra, yes? The first one, which has sukoon, and the second one has fatha. The ra, when it has shadda, the first ra take the same hukm or the rule of the second ra. If the second ra is having fatha, it's going to be heavy like. If it's having kasra, so the first ra with sukoon will be like the second. So both are heavy. Mirra. Mirra. Huh? Lips are not involved. يعني, wallahi, I swear. Wallahi. Only fa, ba, mim, wow are involved with lips. Before and after, kindly, your lips are not involved. Mirra. Any extra movement will affect. Mirra, you say? It will affect it badly. Mirra. من ربكم and mim, give it its time. I return to the articulation point without any addition, without anything. No fatha, no dhamma, no kasr. Just the articulation point because that's good. Just close the lips. فمن شاء, here I have إخفاء. Yes, and we said that when we apply إخفاء, my dear sister, I start. How I'm applying إخفاء. Number one, prepare your mouth to the pronunciation of the following letter after the nun sakina or the tanween. Here is sheen. This is number one. Number two, at the same time, I began to pronounce the gunna or the nasalization, but I'm going to prolong the gunna because this is the second letter. This is the complete gunna. And then I'm going to, after I finish the gunna, I'm going to pronounce the sheen. And because my mouth it's in the position of pronouncing the following letter, that's why it affects the gunna to be according to be heavy or light. Okay, according to duration, it is the second level. It is the complete gunna. So I'm going to say only gunna. Some sisters say I hear noon. Their tongue it's at the articulation point. The noon, when we pronounce the noon, we have two articulation points. Yes, the mouth and the nasal cavity. In إخفاء, only the nasal cavity remain, only the غنة. فمن شاء okay, فمن شاء. Here I have مد واجب متصل or mandatory connected mad. It's 4 or 5 counts. Okay, and I did explain what the meaning of counts here. فليؤمن, just complete the حركات. Hamza is حرف شديد or a letter of shidda or a strong letter, so do not give it more duration. It's the vocal cords are closed. The articulation point is closed. فليؤمن, okay? فليؤمن. If I complete فليؤمن, here again I have full merging or a complete merging. Sorry, there was disturbing. Okay. Noon followed by wow, this is incomplete merging or idgham naqs. Because this is, the wow is a letter of the word way. Way, it's the not complete merging or the not full merging or idgham naqs. So what's remaining from the noon here? It is the gunna. I pronounce the gunna at the same time I'm pronouncing the wow. Okay? And this is the most complete gunna according to the duration, a little bit longer than إخفاء. فليؤمنوا ومن شاء, it's إخفاء, the same like here, it is explained before. فليكفر, here I have lam with سكون in between letter, kaf with سكون, okay? So and when I pronounce the lam, it's in between letter, give it its time. فليكفر, okay? And the kaf, it's a letter of strength or shidda. But you're going to pronounce, you're going to pronounce the hams after you open the articulation point. فليك, only abundant flow of breath after I open the articulation point, no sound. Ak, like ak, no sound, only breath. If sound is produced after I leave the articulation point, I will أبقى القلم. Only flow of breath. أك, فليكفر. The ra here is having سكون preceded by dhamma, so this is heavy ra. Inna, the noon with shidda, most complete غنة. Inna, like the time of idgham. Noon with shadda, mim with shadda, idgham, full complete غنة. إنا أعتدنا, here I have مد جائز منفصل or optional disconnected مد. 4, 5. أعتدنا. Here, my dear sisters, let me clean the board first. Here in this word, pay attention. A lot used to turn the hamza into a heavy sound and the ain into a heavy sound. This is maybe because of the nature of the articulation points. You know, the hamza and the ha vocal cords and the ain, it is the middle part of the throat to the epiglottis. Maybe that's why if you do not control this area well, maybe you will do this. But we said before, to control the epiglottis, you will train upon it in gargling position or lay in your back until you will feel it perfectly in those two positions. And after this, you will be able to feel it when you are just sitting normal. Okay. So do not say أعتدنا, not it's light letter. So do not raise the back of the tongue. Do not make a curvature in the middle back of the tongue. And do not move the epiglottis with Hamza. أعتدنا with عين, the epiglottis is moved backward, but not too much. Otherwise, you will pronounce it as a heavy sound. Okay. أعتدنا دال with سكون, so you're going to apply قلقلة. And give it the بينية. It's in between letter. Some sisters unfortunately apply قلقلة to the eye. This is happening why? Because they leave the makhraj, they leave the articulation point, and the sound is still continuous. This is wrong. Any letter which doesn't have a qalqala as one of its characteristics, so you are going to stop the sound before you leave the articulation point or the makhraj. You are going to stop the sound before you leave the makhraj. Because how we usually apply qalqala? By open the makhraj or the articulation point, and then the sound will pass strongly because I leave the makhraj or the articulation point with a degree of force. So the sound will pass. So the sound is continuous. Still continue after I leave the makhraj. Any letter which doesn't have qalqala as one of its characteristics, so kindly stop the sound before you leave the makhraj. I stop the sound and still my epiglottis is moved backwards. Of course, do not overlook the natural mad alif. للظالمين. This lam is lam shamsiyya, or the not pronounced lam, because dha is not a letter of the sentence. ابغي حجك وخف عقيمة. Those letters are the letters if we found them. So the lam, which is preceded, it's lam qamariya or pronounced. So this is not going to be pronounced. So you are going to move from the lam with kasra to the dha with shadda and fatha. Dha, kindly pronounce the dha from its articulation point. Tip with the tip of the tongue, with the tip of the upper, central, incisor. Lil, give the first time its time. Rakhawa, soft. Lil, and of course it's mufakham. Lil, and then, sorry, here I have a natural mad. Do not overlook the natural mad. للظالمين نارا. The natural mad here after noon, it's light because, as we know, the natural mad alif following the letter which preceded. Noon is a light, so the natural mad here is light. While here, the natural mad is heavy because the ra is heavy. Na ra. Naran. If I continue, it will have tanween. If I stop, it will be mad awad for 2 counts, which I made now. Nara. If I continue, tanween followed by hamza, so I have izhar. Naran ahata. Ahata. Ta is a heavy sound. Yeah. Bihim. Give the meme with school is time. Suradiquha. Just complete the harakat. Just complete the harakat. Suradiquha. Suradiquha. وَإِيَسْتَغِيثُ. Here I have noon followed by ya. This is not full merging. play or إدغام ناقص, explain it over. يستغيث. Here, my dear sisters, يستغيث, this word, if you do not open your mouth properly with the fatha of the ta, because we say the fatha has the same articulation point like alif, the same makhraj like alif. Ta, you are if you do not open your mouth well and you put the tongue in relaxation position, which means you are going to lower the tongue because ta is light, you are going to pronounce the ta with fatha as a heavy sound. Why? Because it's followed by ghain. Gha, it's a heavy sound. If you do not open your mouth well with the fatha, you will pronounce it heavy. يستغيث. يستغيث. If I say يستغيث, look, يستغيث, it will be heavy. If I do not open well, ta is wrong. Ta, open well, and lower your tongue to pronounce it correctly. And this was supposed to happen with all the fatha, but it will be more clear in positions like this when it's followed by a heavy sound. It will turn it very easily into a heavy sound. يستغيث. يغاث. This word, here we have very good things, very, very, subhanAllah. Here, my dear sister, I have the ghain with kasra, and here I have the same letter ghain with fatha followed by natural mad alif. Although both, it's the same, they are the same letter, and they are ghain, it's a heavy sound, but the degree of heaviness or the degree of tafhim is different. The tafhim, we are going to, inshallah, to study during this chapter or this semester or course, whatever. We are going to study the levels of tafhim. When the mufakham letter or the heavy letter is having fatha followed by natural mad alif, this is the highest level of tafhim. When it has kasra, this is the lowest degree of tafhim. So listen, it's different from yes, not like ra. Yes? SubhanAllah. بماء, here I have مد واجب متصل or mandatory connected mad, explained before. Here I have tanween followed by kaf, so it's إخفاء, same rule like ومن شاء فمن شاء. كالمهل, here همزة الوصل don't be dropped because it's in the middle of a word, moving from the kaf with fatha to the lam with sukun. كالمهل. The ha is having sukun. This is the letter of rakhawa. This is a soft letter. So give it the time equal to the time you give to the sin with sukun, equal to the time you give to the shin with sukun. They are all letters of rakhawa or soft letters. The time of sin with sukun equal the time of ha with sukun equal the time of shin with sukun. Yes. يستغيث. يغاث بماء كالمهل يشوي. Equal. Pay attention to this point. يشوي الوجوه. If I stop here, just the ha will have sukun, and pay attention to the ha's. Remember when we explained about the whisper letter of hams and the letter of jahar, apparent letters. It was just this week, and we say ha. It is the weakest. It is the weakest letter of the letters of hams, especially if it has sukun and come at the end of your recitation, at the end of a word, at the end of your not recitation, at the end. Where you're going to stop. Here I'm going to stop. الوجوه. I must hear ha. Otherwise, it will be inaudible. Of course, if I'm going to stop, here I will have مد عارض للسكون 246. Okay. بئت just the hamza a little of شدة. الشراب here I have sheen with شدة and فتحة, so this is double sheen or two sheen. Give the first one this time. أشتاء أشتاء أش all this is it, all this it's the sheen of with سكون. الشراء, the ra of course going to be heavy because it's have فتحة. وساءت here this is مد واجب متصل or mandatory connected مد explained before. تاء همس أت وساءت. Articulation point of the تاء, tip of the tongue with roots, the roots of the upper central incisor. Do not forward the articulation point to almost teach the top of the upper central incisor, because if you do this, you will give it a hint of sheen at the end. No. The English ta, it's yes. The t, they say t, tell, talk, yes. But the Arabic ta doesn't have sound of sheen at the end. At, with the root. The root, it's inside, behind the articulation point of the noon. At, mur, 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 ta, fa, qa. Meme, light. Meme, it's light. And then the ra, it's heavy. And the ta, again, it's light. Fa, it's light. Qaf, it's heavy. So if it's like this, it's light. Like this, it's heavy. Okay, it's supposed to be arrow, but the mouth is not really helping me. So mur, give it time. Mur, ta, fa, qa. Okay. Tanween, if I'm going to stop, it's going to be replaced by mad awad. It's for 2 counts. Okay. Okay. Inna, noon with shadda. So here, my dear sister, I'm going to pronounce the ghunna or say the ghunna. It is the most complete, as explained before. الذين, hamzat al-wasl is going to be dropped because I'm going to continue recitation. I'm going to move from noon with shadda and fatha to the lam with shadda and fatha. Allah, give the time of the first lam with the sukun, it's time in between letter. بينية. الذين آمنوا مد بدل 2 counts. آمنوا آمنوا. Time of مد بدل equal the natural مد. آمنوا, this equal this. 2 counts. Of course, this alif with the circle 0 and this one with the circle 0, it's not pronounced, it's silent always. Continue recitation, stop, it's silent. So amanu, natural mad. This is the last letter of amanu. It's a natural mad wow, 2 counts. Amanu wa amilu as-salihat. If I continue the recitation, Hamzat al-Wasl going to be dropped. Yes? And because I'm going to continue the recitation. And the lam is not going to be pronounced because this is lam shamsiyah, or the not pronounced lam. If I continue, I will have the problem. I have a natural mad, which is the waw, yes, followed by sad with sukoon, because this is 2 sad or double sad. The first one is having sukoon. So this is, here I have the problem of the meeting of 2 consecutive consonants, or the meeting of 2 second letters. This is forbidden in Arabic if it's in between 2 words. In the same word, we have it in some cases, and we deal it, it's okay. But between 2 words, no. So how we are going to solve this problem? By canceling or by emitting the natural mad. So I'm going to move from the lam with dhamma of وعملوا to the sad of shadda and fatha. وعملوا الصا آمنوا وعملوا الصا. I didn't say وعملوا even if I try, it will be heavy and difficult. Subhanallah, the Arabic language, as any language, it's supposed to be easy for both speaker and listener. وعملوا الصالحات. Do not overlook the natural mad here. This and this. إن, again, نون متشدة, most complete غنة. إن لا, natural mad, do not overlook the natural mad. Give it its time. Two counts, two counts. إنا لا نضيع, nothing but just complete the harakat. Do not steal, do not stretch. Do not steal, do not stretch. أجرى, here I have jim with sukun, so I'm going to apply qalqala. أجرى, أجرى. The ra is having fatha, so it's heavy. من أحسن, حاء with السكون, the حاء with السكون, so whispering, همس. رخاوة, the duration. أحسن, time of حاء with السكون, like the time of صاد with السكون. صاد, it's a letter of رخاوة. Like sin with the sukoon, like ha with the sukoon, like sheen with sukoon. Equal, equal. أحسن عمل, عين from its مخرج, from its articulation point, and then فتحة from its articulation point. عمل, تنوين, it will be replaced by مد with two counts. عمل. Okay. Well, we are going now to stop, or we're going to stop the recitation, or this part. I'm going to end it now, and we'll be back in 5 minutes exactly, kindly. Why? Because now I have Maghrib. Last Sunday, I missed the Maghrib when we finished the session. It was the time of Isha already. So I don't like to miss the Maghrib. So just kindly give me 5 minutes, and we will be back, okay? And for there will be no record. So temporary